Everyone, welcome to the show. So there is a lot of bad news to report about Elon Musk and Tesla. More bad news, I should say. Musk seems to be butthurt. He's turning his back on the Republican Party. But before I get into the details of these stories, please do me a giant favor. Click the subscribe button below this video. It is free for you. It really helps out with the show. So here's the deal. A major Tesla investor revealed that he dumped a bunch of the company's stock in the first quarter of this year. And he's saying he's going to continue selling. His name, which may sound familiar to you, his name is Ross Gerber. His company filings show that he already sold 10% of his Tesla holdings. And Gerber is warning that there's a total Tesla collapse on the horizon. In an interview with Business Insider, he said that he believes Tesla is doomed. And the reason he gives, or in part, is because he said that full self-driving cars don't work. That's something that Elon Musk and Tesla are hanging their hat on. And he believes that people just aren't interested in buying Teslas anymore. And the company has stiff competition in the robo-taxi business, which is specifically what Musk and Tesla are saying that they're going to be rolling out next month, what they're hanging their hat on to save the company. And just so you know, this guy has been right about Tesla so far. So he predicted a 50% drop in Tesla stock earlier this year. And that's exactly what happened. And so speaking of this whole self-driving robotaxi thing, Forbes published an article last week, and it says that Musk's idea is, quote, looks like a disaster waiting to happen. They cited a longtime critic of the robotaxis, a guy named Dan O'Dowd. He apparently tested one of Musk's so-called self-driving vehicles, like the full self-driving. O'Dowd drove it around Santa Barbara, California, drove it for about 80 minutes. He said it failed 7 times. O'Dowd told them, quote, if there had not been a driver sitting in the driver's seat, it would have hit something. And a safety researcher recently attended a robotaxi demonstration. Apparently, this happened in October of last year. This was conducted on a closed movie lot in Los Angeles, California. And the researcher, a guy named Noah Goodall, he told Business Insider, quote, it was just operating vehicles on a closed track on a movie lot. It was not impressive at all. Navigating a real urban environment with uncertainty, other parties moving around, situations where just braking is not enough, that's difficult. I was looking for a signal this was ready. I didn't get that. So, not a good sign. I mean, I would not feel safe in the backseat of a fully self-driving car at this point. And then another broken Tesla promise is the range extender for the Cybertruck. So Musk had promised an upgrade to those hideous trucks, and it would have allowed drivers to travel 500 miles on a single charge. The company was, for a time, taking in $2,000 deposits in advance of this rollout. Well, now Tesla's refunding the money because they've said, oh, I guess it's just not possible. Sorry, what we told you we could do, we can't do. So between this broken promise and Musk's negative reputation, Tesla is having a really hard time unloading these Cybertrucks. Electric news outlet reported that Tesla's Cybertruck inventory is at an all-time high. They have 10,000 vehicles just sitting around. And they said that most of these trucks were built in 2024. So they haven't been able to unload these things in 5 months or more. Just no takers, even though Tesla is offering, as I mentioned to you guys recently, they're offering all kinds of steep price cuts and, incentives on financing and stuff. The backlog of the inventory and these price reductions, it could be why the trade-in value is just abysmal right now. According to Inside EV's news outlet, one man was offered $65,400 for his 2024 all-wheel drive Foundation Series Cybertruck that has only 6,211 miles on it. So brand new, practically, and it's already lost a ton of equity. Another owner, it was the same exact vehicle, but the guy had 32,000 miles on it. He was offered 60,500. So, and that's like $8,000 more, they said, than what Carvana was offering. So these are trucks that cost $100,000. So these men paid $99,000, $100,000 just last year, and now they're being offered, in the $60,000 range. One with hardly any mileage on it. I mean, that is just hashtag sad in all caps. The other big Tesla bust is their promised all-electric semi-truck. So this was, these are like big semis. And they announced in 2017 that, oh, yeah, we're going to roll these things out. They're going to be all electric, save you guys money on gas with all the transportation that you're doing. Well, the mass production still hasn't ramped up from 2017. And then Tesla in the interim has been raising the price. So they just keep raising the price, raising the price. A Tesla spokesperson now says that the trucks are going to be ready by the end of this year. Now the cost is $415,000. So companies are now going like, I don't know if this makes sense anymore. So there's that. And then I have more bad news to share with you. So last week, a Danish construction company announced they have returned their entire corporate Tesla fleet. And they said it is specifically because of Elon Musk. The company issued a statement saying, quote, at Schurning, I think is how you pronounce it, Tscherning, Schurning, I think is how you say it. Anyway, they said, we not only decide how we drive, but also who we drive with. That's why we've chosen to hand over the keys to our Tesla company cars, not because Tesla has become a bad car, but in light of Elon Musk's political commitment and the opinions he has publicly expressed, and which are increasingly hard to overlook. We as a company have chosen to say thank you for the ride. Electric news outlet reported that story, and then they said that another large European company did the same thing last year. And Electric says that Tesla's situation in Europe is unsustainable. They're predicting layoffs and store closures in Europe in the near future. So things are not going good. And then earlier this month, one Tesla employee was fired because a bunch of Tesla employees asked Musk, they were urging him to resign because of the lagging demand for the cars. Well, yesterday, Musk confirmed at a Qatar Economic Forum that he is not only not going to leave, he's staying on as Tesla's CEO for the foreseeable future. Someone asked him, do you see yourself being here 5 years from now? And he's like, oh, yeah, definitely. And then he also confirmed that he plans to curtail his political spending, which I alluded to at the beginning. Musk said, quote, I think in terms of political spending, I'm going to do a lot less in the future. I think I've done enough. If I see a reason to do political spending in the future, I will do it. I do not currently see a reason. So seems to be a little butthurt, like I said. So anyway, Tesla's stock jumped a bit after his remarks, but the damage is done. There was an Axios Harris poll, which shows that the reputation of Tesla and SpaceX have tanked this year. Now, SpaceX is like, it's not a public company. Like nobody's buying their products. So, not a big deal. However, as other people have pointed out, news outlets have pointed out, this isn't a good sign for future administrations. I mean, if you get a Democratic president in there, How likely is a Democratic president at a Democratic administration? How likely are they to remain with Tesla or with SpaceX to use them in the future? Highly unlikely. Um, and in regard to Tesla, in 2021, they said Tesla was ranked number 8 on reputation. And that was in a list of the top 100 most visible American companies. Last year, they had fallen to number 63. Now they're almost at the very bottom of the barrel. They're at 95 out of 100 as far as their reputation. And in the categories of character, or the category of character, they were ranked dead last. It scored very close to last, meaning Tesla scored very close to last in the categories of ethics and citizenship. So they're not a popular company anymore. And part of the problem lies with Tesla's left-wing consumer base, obviously turning against the company. The right wing, though, is also losing that love and feeling towards Musk and towards Tesla. Well, not really Tesla, but mostly Musk, because he promised that he was going to save the government $2 trillion, right? He said, I'm going to be able to easily cut $2 trillion from the federal government, federal budget. Has not happened. In fact, the Washington Post reported this month that even with the doge cuts, we're now 5 months in to this presidency, the U.S. government has already spent $166 billion more than it did last year. So in just the first 5 months of this year, also some Trump supporters are now suing Musk Super PAC because they didn't pay. They did not receive a payment. These are people who allege his America PAC, you guys will remember this, never paid them the $100 that they were each promised for signing a petition during the presidential election. So Musk has now destroyed people's lives for what? For what purpose? He is not saving the government money. He is not helping Republicans get elected anymore. In fact, people turned against the candidate that he was backing in the Wisconsin Supreme Court race. And this has literally cost people their lives. Not only are people dying and will die because of the doge cuts, but the Washington Post have just published another article, I think it was just this week, and they reported that some government employees have taken their own lives because they were laid off because of the doge cuts. One Social Security employee also suffered a fatal heart attack, and the doctor said it was due in part to all of the stress from the layoffs. Now, she had pre-existing conditions, but they said, this just added to it because of the layoffs, because of doge demands. Now, she wasn't one that was laid off, but she was just, getting a lot of the brunt of, the excess work they had to do because of the employee shortage and just doge making demands that she felt that weren't appropriate. And she would go home and tell her sister that she was just stressed out beyond belief. So people are literally dead as a direct result of this administration. And because the Republican Party will not lift a damn finger to stop this psycho, Trump and his psycho minions. So just insane what is going on in this country. But Tesla is paying the price. Musk eventually will pay a price. I have no doubt. All this Starlink stuff, all of the SpaceX stuff. Next time a Democratic president gets in there, he is in trouble. He is really in trouble. So should have known better. Should have known not to put all of his eggs in one basket, especially not with the cost of eggs, thanks to Donald Trump. We're just going to blame them, right? They blame Biden, so we're going to blame Trump. The eggs. All right, guys, I will let you know when I hear more. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. Please like, please share, and subscribe. Please donate if you can. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.